I give you welcome to the second webinar of the Eidos Media Insights, which is a series of events that we develop and are fully focused on the challenges, the needs, and the trends of the financial services market. My name is Massimo Barsotti. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Eidos Media, and I will be your host today. So the promotion of the event went very well. We have more than 150 registered attendees, and they're now joining the event. I can see them appearing in the list. In here, some housekeeping before we start. This is a Zoom webinar, so it's slightly different from a normal Zoom call. So it's normal for the attendees to be muted, and so don't worry about your microphone, it's okay. But we want to hear from you. So please use the chat button to share your comments, and you can also leverage on the Q&A button to enter your questions that we'll be happy to answer at the end of the event. This webinar is a live event, so we're not planning to share the recordings afterwards. It's a kind of a unique opportunity to learn from best practices and real case studies and experience from the field. And also, as you can see from the slide, there's a special opportunity for a limited number of attendees that will wait for you at the end of the event. It's a free of charge opportunity. Please stay with us until the last slide to know more about that. Okay, I can see that the people are coming, are entering. Happy about that. Let's continue. And with a brief introduction, I will not be the only speaker today. As you can see, both Lee and Francois, they will be with me. So let me stop sharing the slide for a second so to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. And Lee, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Lee Miller. I'm a product manager at Amenity Analytics for more than a year now. And I'm very excited to be part of this great webinar and to talk with you about our solution with the partnership with Eidos. Hope you will enjoy.
Thank you, Lee. Francois? You're on mute.
A classical problem. Hello, everyone. I am François Martinier, working for Eidos Media. I have started Eidos in 2008 as an application specialist for our media market. And I am now Director of Consulting Service, leading our professional service team in US. And I am focusing now since 6 years on our financial market. I will be presenting you a bit later in the presentation a real use case of automation using componentization.
Okay, great. Thanks, Francois. And again, Massimo Barsotti, Head of Marketing. I'm with Eidos almost since the beginning. And I cover a different role in the company, from IT to product management to pre-sale. And currently, I'm the Global Head of Marketing. I had the privilege over the years to see the increasing importance of content across different industries. We originated as a company as providers of content solutions for media, but content is really a key in any transformation to digital. And that's why we've been able to apply our solution also into other sectors, as you will discover in the next few slides. Okay, we do cover a lot in terms of content management, from creation, enrichment to publishing. But these days, to provide a more comprehensive solutions, we are really open to include seamlessly as we can the tools from third parties like Amenity in this case, or others, either in the AI area or CRM or analytics, as an overall part of the solution. Let's go back to the presentation. Let me reshare screen and highlight what we'll cover today. What's the focus and which are the main topics that we'll cover? As you can see from this diagram, I mean, investment research, it's at the center of several conflicting forces. On our end, there's an evolution of the consumer of research, which are expecting to have research in a variety of formats, digital formats, available and accessible no matter the device. And there's an increase of requests, which is forcing research producers to increase the volume, make it more relevant, make it more closer to the needs of the end users. The expansion of this content, of course, has to cope with the same resources, which needs to work more efficiently. There needs to introduce, there's a need for introducing automation, and there's a kind of a pervasive role of AI in different areas that is really there to support this transition to a new model of working, a new workflow model, a new business model at the end. We, as a company, have been heavily focused on content management, which is kind of the foundational part of the situation that you saw before. As I mentioned before, we started with media. We're still stronger in media. And in the last 20 years, we've been able to establish a presence also in research, mostly in the financial research, but we are also present in corporate, in government. And in all the cases, we've been able to apply our specific skills, which is managing content in complex scenarios, in challenging situations with complex use cases. And we've been following, as I said, the evolution of content management across the years. So we're now fully focused on digital, and we see that other markets are following closely the same evolution. So in the case of the financial services, we've been really successful in the last few years. You can see some of the achievements in here. We have thousands, literally thousands of analysts working on a daily basis with our software to produce financial report, and the importance of that, it's really directly related to the transition to digital. Gardner used to say that content is the currency of digital business. So the more business is digital, the more relevant is the content and the way to produce the content. It has to be efficient, available on multi-channel, and ideally not imposing too much technical skill technology on the content producers, because in most of the cases they're working under pressure. That's the quick overview about the company. Lihi from Amenity, they are our guest today. Do you want to share a few words about Amenity?
Yeah, sure. So hi again. So I would like to start with a little background about Amenity Analytics. So Amenity has been in the NLP field for around 6 years, and our mission is to simply make text useful. We've built NLP platform that provide our client with actionable insights from external and internal text at massive scale in real time. And these days, there is so many written information that it is impossible to read all of it and get the relevant insights from it. So we believe that by changing the way our customers treat information in text, we can change the way that they do business, and we can deliver them more focused and accurate insight. So our platform is trusted by some of the world's largest banks and leading companies in the finance, technology, and insurance field. We go to the next slide. Yeah, so how do we do it? Basically, we process thousands of documents per day, including SEC filing, transcript, news, research, and so on. And our natural language processing models are trained by industry experts in the language of business to determine the real context and the meaning of each sentence and each paragraph inside a complex text. So Amenity Analytics basically automated the process of sifting through complex documents, targeted information, and we deliver it in an elegant format that is intuitive to use. You can see the insight right in your face without messing with all the complex text. And later I will share with you more about our challenges and a real life story on how our platform is help our clients to make their work more efficient.
Okay, thanks, Lee. That was very useful, and we'll cover more, of course, in the upcoming slides. So if I go back for a second to the challenges of the sector that we're covering in here, to recap, to sort of recap with this slide, the different aspects of the issues that we saw before in the first high-level view. So asset managers or the buy side, they're under pressure to prove their worth because there are so many sources that could drive investment, passive investing and more, which they really are challenged in order to find the proper insights, the proper signals that could lead to really successful investment, or the alpha gold in jargon. They are really stressed by the amount of information available and in their possibilities to distill what's really valuable out of the risk of being submerged by the background noise. And sell side, which is fully aware of this, is working already, and we can see that clearly from our customers, in order to make their research more valuable, accessible, more tailored to the need of their counterparts, of their consumers, and to become as relevant as possible. So to reduce the discovery time and being more efficient. As part of this situation, there is one question which is really appearing more and more often these days, which is about the value of the research of the report distributed purely in PDF format. The PDF document is okay; it's all inclusive, it's easy to share, but they could be hard to exploit when receiving. When an asset manager receives tons of reports on the same company or on the same scenario, all of them made of dozens of pages, it's hard to imagine that they will go through all of them. In best case scenario is that they open just a few and they maybe just read the first few pages and that's it. And frankly, this is definitely not efficient. I've tried to also to emphasize this in this slide. This sort of a funnel shows how many sources of data are available today for the buy side, for the asset managers. They need to filter across all of this. It's not simply technology which is making more data available. It's also changing in business model. Imagine the importance of the ESG and the amount of additional information that ESG has produced. I know this will be touched by Amenity and by Ligi, because that's a real tangible example. And alternative data is there as well. It's right behind the corner, ready to even make the life more complicated of the asset managers there. AI definitely it's a tool, and I would say that together with making the content more accessible and more flexible, AI is really there to help with filtering through the noise and make and surface relevant information for the asset managers. AI, of course, has a lot of applications. So these are just some examples. Maybe not all of these will be relevant to you. Maybe just a small subset of these will be important to you. We can see that for the larger firms that are producing reports in multiple languages, automatic translations, they're becoming a key these days. But definitely, even the core functionalities of tagging and entity extraction, they're super important these days. And we'll cover several of these in the next slide. So talking about content, what we do and what is producing a lot of improvement across our customer base and across efficiency and productivity is the capability we have to split complex report in components, which is small chunks. And this componentization effort we're doing has several advantages and provides several opportunities. The first and probably the most obvious is that if you have a monolithic document, a big one, multiple pages split in component which can be as small as you wish, this is a way to enable parallelism, which is having multiple users working together in different areas on the same final document. It's a boost for collaboration. That's a major benefit that all our customers are reporting, and make it very used to reuse portions or sections of reports, which may be in common across documents, allows automation to enter and to build the sum of the portion of a document entirely automatically. Think about the disclaimers and disclosures at the end of the document, and allows way more granular control and tagging and application of technologies to the content. So not simply to the whole, to the document as a whole, but also to sections or portions inside the document. At the end, this is increased efficiency and also quality, because you may reduce some prone to error processes from being purely human and to make them fully automated. The other advantage is from the point of view of distribution. Having your content malleable and available as component allows way more controlled distribution, more adaptable to the preferences of the users, of the consumers, of the readers, much more easier to find, much more personalized, much more targeted, and also allows opportunities for white labeling the content itself, reusing it in different ways, and then applying different branding and selling it in a different model. And that's something that you will see in the case study that will be covered by Francois. At the end, this allows increasing the reach, which is one of the main requirements that we've seen in the first few slides, and also increasing the volume of the reports produced without adding new resources. Finally, the end result of having this improved distribution allows for better analytics, better tracking of the engagement of the content, better knowledge about how the content is consumed, and knowing the trends, what's becoming hot, and so forth. And this analytics can then be forwarded back to the analyst to provide feedback and also insights that can be used in order to fine-tune the content workflow process. And at the end, being more adding efficacy to the overall process. How we implement componentization. I have a couple of slides here showing this visually, and let me start from media, because it all started here for our solution. So you see here a front page, a print page, the first page of the Financial Times, which is a customer of ours. So this content has been produced using our software, and the homepage of the website. So in here is the component model in action. So the page, the print page in this case, is made up of different articles. All the stories, they are singular individual elements which concur to build the final page. So each one of these will be managed, edited, and enriched by different users working concurrently to build the final page. The portion that you see here at the bottom highlighted in red, they're fully automated. So no one had to place manually the ads or the table there at the bottom. And the same, literally the same, applies to the web page, because it's the same software. It's just a different channel. It's just a different rendition of the content. We have this part, which is on top of the home page, which is manually curated by the editors, because they want to control the presentation and the order, the priority of the stories. But the rest of the web page, frankly, is fully automated. There's a lot of efficiency that is achieved in here. And The beauty of what we've been doing in the last few years is to adapt this model also to investment research. So here's a financial report. It's from several years ago, so there's nothing sensitive in here. It's about Argentina. You can see the PDF version, a few pages on the left, and the web version, actually a public version on the right-hand side. The same trick is applied in here. So the report is made of sections. Each section is a component. So probably there has been an analyst working on this executive summary, while others maybe working with data scientists, they've been working on the charts and the data table there. The portions highlighted in red, they've been placed automatically there. So the list of the analysts who contributed to this report has been generated automatically by the system, because by looking at the metadata and by looking by the attributes, it was possible to build that automatically. And similarly, the small disclaimer there, the index, and so forth. And now you've understood how it works. Same applies for the web page. Just a subset of the report has been published on the web page, because that page was public. I guess it's still public, it's still available. Automatically, there's a link which has been inserted to other relevant content available on the web page. And you can see also an example of reuse of content. The chart that you see there at the bottom of the web page is an interactive chart. And is an interactive live version of a static chart, which was printed on the PDF page. So we are also able to manage this, like a dual nature of content depending on the channel. Typically, it's a static. If it's a PDF, the PDF is supposed to be a printable version. But if it's in digital, we have way more options to explore: interactivity, animations, and so forth. So that's really the core of what we do when dealing with content management. Of course, there's a whole set of functionalities around this, from metadata, workflow, distribution, permissions, and so forth. But this really stays at the core of supporting a change in the value proposition of research. PDF really is just a single format, which is encompassing everything, but it's really keeping the value of what's contained locked inside this monolithic container. The way we manage content really unlocks the value, provides for digital exploiting of the content, digital distribution, and way more opportunity out of the original content. And I guess this is a sort of a great intro for your case study, Francois, because that's exactly this is the core of the project that you've been following, which was entirely focused on automation.
Exactly. Thank you, Massimo. So now that we have a better understanding about components, we will look at the real use cases that we had in Eidos Media with one of our customers. I am pretty glad to present it to you, since I have personally followed this project, which I know pretty well. So if you have any question, please feel free to use the chat or the Q&A boxes, then I will be happy to answer at the end of this presentation. So the user that we are looking at is an independent research and analytic firm based in the US. They are producing reports for their client base and also for other research firms. The syndicated research is delivered both in PDF as well as white labels, and also in a raw data format using APIs that they provide to some of their clients. The benefit of these APIs is obviously that their clients are able to ingest the data into their own product without the full PDF copy-paste that you can imagine with the monolithic formats. It's a fairly small company. We are speaking here about 40 to 45 specialized analysts. They are around the globe, I believe in US, UK, and Malaysia. And so the company rely on technology to maximize their productivity for their manual curated reports, but also for their thousands of reports that are automatically generated every week. Even if it's a small company, they have a huge coverage of the market. And Massimo, if you want to look at the next slide, even if it's 45 analysts, they are covering 1,500 companies qualitatively, a bit less than 2,000 ETF, and a bit more than 22,000 mutual funds. And they are covering also 11 sectors and 43 industries. I was saying just a bit earlier, they are producing for their base client, but also for other research firms. So based on the market, 40 to 80% of the top firms are served by our user. And depending on the market capitalization, our user is covering 89 to 99% of the global equity market. This is for the quick introduction about our user. Let's look at the opportunity that has bring the componentization in their new system. So componentization is bringing far more flexibility than the previous solution that they have, which were based on PDF files. The first opportunity is obviously the reusability. By having the possibility to identify a component by its name, by metadata, by tags, by auto-tagging with Amenity, for example, we're able to manually search or automatically search for components. By finding them, we're able to combine them for an infinite numbers of products and produce multiple reporting formats, such as white label, custom report, or even raw data. Maybe a small introduction about the difference with white label and custom report is our user is creating his own report, which is a PDF. The white labeling is an option that they offer to some of their clients, which allow them to do a rebranding of the report, including their logo, including their color, changing their disclosure. The custom report is a more personalized experience where the customer itself will have the choice of the components. So they can choose a subset of components, they can reorder components, and they can have a different layout. So with the same source, you will have a different product. The second opportunity will be the automation of reports. With, as mentioned Massimo a bit earlier, some artificial intelligence. In this specific case, we use some basic natural language generation, but we were able to automatically create reports and in some cases update highlights, summaries, or key points, for example. And the last opportunity coming from this componentization is not about the PDF itself, but about the components and the data. It's to be able to monetize the raw data through API or web services provided to their customer that, like I was saying earlier, will ingest them into their already existing reports, or they can create a full new brand product. So if we look at the solution, we have split it in two pieces. Massimo, if we want to look at the next slide, we are looking at the manual reporting, which is in any case part of the system, and we will look a bit later about the automatic reporting. Even if it's a manual reporting solution, it's highly automated because, again, it's a small company, the coverage is huge. They need to have as much as possible automatic component created and as less as possible involvement of the analyst. So the classical journey of an analyst will be clicking on the button to create a report, choose a template, choose a company through tickers, for example, and with this information, we will be able to request the data from external data source. We will be able to request the data that we have already in our database. and we will be able to transform them into different components that we will fill into a preformatted template. So we will include the financial data, for example. We will include the charts. We will also include the disclosures. In the template itself, not everything will be visible to the users. Our platform allows you to correlate items that are not really relevant to the analyst. Let's think about the disclosure, for example. It's not really relevant for the analyst to edit it. So the editing tool will be focused only on the necessary part of the report for the analyst. So we will provide them different components that they will be able to edit or alone or in collaboration. Multiple users can work in parallel on different sections of the report at the same time. Each modification done by user will be visible to the full group of users already with the report open in real time. One of the main benefits also in our solution is they will be able to see the output of their report also in real time. Not only the main report, but with a simple action, be able all the white labels also in the preview panel that we have in Eidos Media. You will see all the white labels, you will see all the custom report, which is a huge improvement compared to the previous solution, because for all those white labels and custom report, our customer were relying on a third company. So imagine that for an analyst, he would have needed to send this report to this third company. The third company will have to generate this report and send it back to the analyst. So also here we have been improving the flow for those users. When the analyst will be happy with this report, he will follow the normal approval process, sending to his supervisor. The supervisor will use our version tracking tools, where the component updated only will be highlighted to him, which is also really important for their supervisor that need to focus on many reports at the same time. When they will submit the report for distribution, we will automatically generate all the formats necessary for the distribution. So we will generate the PDF, we'll generate white labels, the custom report, we'll generate the raw data in a JSON format, for example, and we will publish it to the upstream system. If we look at the automatic reporting solution, it's mainly the same solution. We are just removing the interaction from the analyst. So first of all, why do we need automatic reports? You have already your manual reports. Why do you need an automatic solution? Our user asked us to be able to refresh the full range of reports every week. Because like we are saying, a PDF is not a web page. The data are static. They are fixed in your PDF. And obviously, after a week or 2 weeks, the data are not even correct. So the solution was to automatically regenerate all the reports already published every week to have updated data for their own client base. So the process will follow like the manual one. We will request all the data at the beginning of the process. We will transform them into components. In this specific case, which is not present in the manual reporting, based on some rules and variants in the financial data, we can change summary or highlights automatically in the component. The component will be then combined and placed into a preformatted template, and we will be able then to generate the PDF. Because we are using the same technology and the same templates between the automatic reporting and the manual one, if we do a change on the templates of components for the manual reporting, it will be automatically applied also for the automatic reporting. So if we look at the last slide, Massimo, what is the result of the componentization regarding at the Eidos Media platform and also regarding for our users? So we are able to produce 1,500 equity reports every weekend, plus the 5,000 reports, white label and custom. The solution was so well appreciated that our customers asked us to include their ETF and mutual fund in this solution. So we are not producing them every month because it doesn't make much sense to them, but we are producing every month 20,000, even a bit more than 20,000 reports of ETF and mutual funds. In terms of timing, the generation of a report, it's only 2 seconds. If you think about it, in the flow that we were presenting earlier, 2 seconds to retrieve the data, transform them, potentially generate other data, produce the PDF is pretty competitive. And because our solution is scalable, and in this specific example, we have our customer decide to have 3 servers, we're able to have an average of under a second per report. And obviously, the big result of this automation is 0 users are involved in this full process. I'm not speaking only about analysts and supervisor. I am also speaking about support team or developers. Now the process is fully automated. The server are starting automatically, grabbing the information automatically and stopping automatically. The benefit for our customers are obviously the updates of data every week. Their own client base is really happy about this solution, but for our customer, it has been the increase of volume and range of output that has been a great benefit for them. The last solution that came at the end of this automation has been that our customer has been able to create on top of our platform AWS web services and monetize their data through these web services, allowing also a slow switch from the PDF version to the raw data that we were mentioning earlier with Massimo on the last slide, where every component can be ingested. So they are slowly moving from the PDF solution to a more web service solution when their customer will be ready for. Thank you, Massimo.
Okay, thanks, Francois. That's definitely an impressive case among our customer base. What they're doing also keeps amazing ourselves. And I'm afraid this increase of volume is heading to the problem that Amenity has to deal with, because volume of incoming data, that's the issue, Lihi. You're on mute.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so I will start with just a quick view on what I'm going to show you today. So I would like to share with you the best practices of using Amenity's panel in Eidos platform and some real-life use cases. And I will also talk about our platform can improve the way research writers work today, and how our platform make it easier for them to evaluate and improve their research. So I want to start with the problem. There are many difficulties in authoring research. There are structural and systematic changes in the market, and you want to provide your client with the world-class understanding of the themes and equities that you cover globally. And today, you know, research reports are published around the clock, and the ability to review the content of each report and validate the quality of the content is very time-consuming and complex task. And even more, research writers, they need to validate that each of their clients is getting the most relevant reports for them. I mean, nobody wants to get an email with a bunch of reports that is not interested in. So in order to do so, they have to tag it with the suitable tags, which make it even more challenging. And so what we're doing at Amenity Analytics to help address all those issues is that we provide domain-specific natural language processing that serves the needs of the financial market. Our solution is trained to analyze reports in the same way that a trained analyst would. And as a result, it is able to analyze text at scale, as Massimo mentioned before, and it's able to classify the text and score it and give you a lot of insight on it. So it is also capable of finding the relevant extractions from a text across a set of teams for many different use cases. And as part of Amenity's partnership with Eidos, Amenity integrated a sidebar, as you can see here in the slide, in which you can evaluate your research and get all kinds of insights. And for example, Amenity providing tagging solutions for your internal and external research reports. And with the power of our NLP models, we have built tagging capabilities that help you make your research report more discoverable. And I will share with you in a few seconds how you can do it. And it also make it easier for your readers to find the most relevant content for them, and all of these features without leaving the Eidos platform. So here you can take a look at our panel, and this is the ESG tagging. It's one of our tagging capabilities. And you can see the two themes that were automatically suggested to the author regarding to his actual report. This generated by our customized NLP models. And you can see it's not a keyword search. You can see here the mentions that those themes regarded to, and it's not a keyword search. It's a complex of rules that we work a lot of time to develop it. So if you can go to the next slide. Okay, so now I want to talk with you about our all of our tagging capabilities. So first, we have the thematic tagging that refers to broad issues that are driving the market today, such as AI, economic growth, market position, and so on. We have ESG topics, which refer to more focused themes in the ESG domain, such as climate risk, human capital, and so on. We also have companies tagging. So today we cover more than 24,000 public and private companies in the US and worldwide. And what we are doing is actually our models detect and tag your report with all the companies you mentioned in your text. So it can be easily tagged. You can validate that you mentioned all the companies you were supposed to mention. You can also see how many times you mentioned each company. So you can reduce or increase those instances. And we also have entities tagging, which includes sectors, commodities, banks, currencies, and many, many more. And it's also tagged regarding to your text. So what those capabilities can provide you as a research writer? So first, you can tag your report to improve research visibility. Your report can surface a lot of important themes, but it's a huge challenge to tag it with the most accurate and relevant theme. And without a correct theme tagging, it's also difficult to find, if you want to find all the researches that you've already published in the past that related to this theme, so you can send it to your client. So it's a very challenging task. And with the help of our NLP models, you can easily and automatically provide your clients the ability to find their most relevant research reports by many different categories. So we automatically identify tags, themes, companies in your research. And then it is no longer a challenge if a client is interested, for example, in getting all the reports about cybersecurity or electric cars, or all the reports related to specific company or specific industry. So you can take all this categorization and make it very accurate for the client's interest. So it's very, very easy and efficient solutions. We also provide you the way to improve tagging consistency by applying well-developed, consistent standards for teams identification. So you have a list of defined teams. All of our analysts use the same standard in all regions inside the same platform. So this can reduce subjectivity. It can help your organization to be more accurate in teams tagging, which again can improve the research discoverability. And the most important, it can make your teams more effective and reduce costs. So you can use our tool as an enhancement tool. It's not going to replace the analyst in any way. You can just use it as an enhancement tool that empowers a more focused human analysis. But we're automatically identify the teams, and the amazing thing here that each client can configure the list of teams that their organization wants to surface as their top level research classification. I mean, we have the list of default teams, but each client can customize it to his needs. And I'm sure those of you who do it daily can relate to those challenges of tagging your report and make it more visible. And you're already thinking about ways to how you can use the platform to improve the quality and effectiveness of your work. And the biggest challenge is when we're talking about teams and ESG, because as you can see in the slide, we talked about companies and entities is written more explicitly in the text. But the real challenge is teams and ESG tagging, because there is a spectrum of way people can refer to them. There is a spectrum of way people can write to them. So basically, there is different type of language that different people can use. And it makes it very difficult and time-consuming task to tag a complex and long report with the most accurate team. Next slide. So in order to address those challenges, we must identify terms related to the teams that the client considers to be relevant to his organization. I mean, we have a big team, we have an ESG team, climate risk. So we have to identify the terms that related to this big and broad topic. So to do so, Amenity has developed many different taxonomies, which is basically, taxonomy is basically a hierarchical relation between topics. And here you can see a sample of our ESG taxonomy that was created with the input and knowledge of principal client and industry experts with dozens of teams across the ESG domain. And these teams can be viewed as an aggregated sum to represent the ESG profile of a given company or analyzed individually. And as I mentioned before, the taxonomy is flexible. It can be customized to the needs of each client. And this taxonomy helps us to automate the process of understanding the terms and the phrases that relevant for each team that you want to discover in your report. Next slide. Okay, so now I want to share with you a real life story of one of our clients. So I think it will help you to better understand the challenges I'm talking about and the power of Amenity's NLP model. So we're talking about a global financial service company that wanted to incorporate ESG systematically and transparently in its credit rating review. And they turned to Amenity to identify basically where and when ESG factored as a material credit consideration in their published research documents. The findings would be used to highlight ESG risk on credit rating decisions across all regions, which will help the organization to confidently speak to investors about how ESG considerations impact credit rating. So basically, the proposed solution to give the agency the ability to go back to their analyst and guide them in applying ESG standards in a methodical manner across the board on all their research reports. So this was basically is the client's problem. And in the next slide, yeah, I will talk about the other solutions that can be that the clients thought about them as a proper solution. So one solution is obviously to tag the documents manually. But the first challenge here is, of course, the volume of the documents we need to review. He had over 19,000 reports on private and public entities from the previous year only. Each document have to be tagged, as I said, based on a complex system, not a keyword search, but a complex system of multi-tiered list of ESG considerations and many, many rules. The second challenge was the extensive QA process that would need to be completed on each document. It means that analysts that well-versed in ESG needs to pore over each document to identify where ESG factor mentioned in the text and in what context, what is the importance of these factors on the organization credit rating, and whether this impact represented a risk or opportunity, and so on. So this really making a bottleneck and preventing the client from improving his reports visibility, and also consume a lot of time from those analysts to do their real and important work. You can say that another solution was a simple text search. But as I said, this bag of word approach would result in many false positives. The biggest challenge here was to understand the true meaning of a word in its context in the text. As you can see here in the slide, the word climate. So when it's mentioned in a press release, is it in a relation to the environmental factor of climate change? Or is climate being discussed in a political or economic sense? So you never know when it's a keyword search only. And for those reasons, the client decided using Amenity's NLP technology, which is best suited for handling the complexities of human languages and provide a complex set of rules and using of AI NLP models. So in the next slide, I want to talk about the solution, our solution. So Amenity created for this client a custom NLP model that's supposed to answer to his complex requirement. And one of the first steps in configuring such model is identify the ESG terms that the client consider material to their credit consideration. As I said before, if you remember the ESG taxonomy, we need to identify the terms that related to the themes you want to discover in his report. As part of the solution, the client was able to also run historical data easily and in a scalable way, allowing for quick and iterative adjustment. We can run a bunch of documents and then improve the model and run it again. And to prevent the model from degrading, Amenity implemented dynamic model development and validation process. It means that we test it to ensure the model accuracy and that it improves over time, which considerably reduced the QA process. So one example that demonstrated the flexibility of Amenity's ESG model is the word leverage, because it is not only a material word for governance risk, but it's also a commonly used word outside the context of governance. Leverage would have result in many false positives. So Amenity developed its ESG model logic to understand through context whether leverage was being discussed in a relation to a credit action constraint, to identify if it's related to the client's actual team to its context, or it's been talked about this word in another context. So through this iterative process, Amenity fine-tuned its NLP model to detect the client-specific taxonomy and allow the client to discover related terms and phrases that could be used in extracting and classifying the relevant text. So in the end, Amenity deliver a consolidated structured ESG data with meaningful event and extractions in the text. The resulting solution has been used in our client for the past 4 years and currently deliver accuracy rates of over 96% as measured against control samples of data annotated by the client. So just to summarize, we understand that we have many challenges and difficulties when it comes to tagging in general and in teams in ESG tagging specifically. And here is where Amenity Analytics get into the picture. It allows you to simplify your work and increase your efficiency. It's empower a more focused human analysis. And this is, I think, the key here, that it's let you focus on the real deal, on the real themes, that instead of reading all the documents and try to understand and generate the themes. So it helps you to focus on the accurate theme and help your readers finally to find the most relevant content for them in automatic way. And again, without leaving your Eidos environment. And in the next slide, I want to talk with you about another solution that Amenity Analytics have instead of, in addition to the tagging solution. Amenity also provides a research quality report. So as we talked earlier, today research is published around the clock. There is so many written information. So the ability to review the content of each of them, to validate the quality of the content, is really a bottleneck for the companies. It's very time consuming. It's a very complex task. And so try to imagine you're sitting in your office and it's the end of the day and you have many reports to review. You need to read all of it. You need to pay attention to the small details, pay attention to mistakes or just parts that's worth improving. So you can easily miss out a lot of issues. And then in just one click, Amenity automatically allows you to get insights about your report. And it highlights the problematic areas on your text. It helps you to improve the quality of your content in Eidos platform. You just in a distance of a mouse click. So as you can see here, we have this report have many features, such as complicated sentence. It's highlight overly complicated and run-on sentences in your actual report. You just need to click on the bubble there, and then you can see it highlight on your report all the complicated sentence. So it's very easy for you to fix them. Price target. It highlights all the mentions of any price target in the text to maintain consistency and prevents any mistakes. We have passive voice that highlights the use of passive voice so that the editor can quickly identify it in the text and reduce these instances, overused word, management criticism, and many, many more, as you can see here. And these features help you to identify all the areas worth improving quickly and easily and fix it in no time and avoiding any mistake. And a quick use case I can share on this is a global research firm that using this feature on fixed income research. And after using this solution for a while, they say that this solution really helps them to reduce review time by up to 50% by eliminating the time spent to identify those common writing mistakes such as passive voice, edging, and all the things we talked about. And it also helped them to decrease the risk of compliance violations. So we highlight for you specific instances of potential compliance violations in your report So these mistakes can cost you and your organization a lot of money in fines. So we highlight this for you in the text so you can easily find it and fix it. And also we reveal quantifiable insight. We're providing performance metrics that enable writers to improve their work, improve the quality of their content, and it also allows their managers to efficiently evaluate their writing performance at scale, to review those documents easily and faster. So using this tool can really save you a lot of money, can improve human efficiency, and basically improve the quality of your research with minimal effort at scale automatically. So now Massimo will share with you a few screenshots of the platform itself, so you can see how easy and human-friendly the use of Amenity panel through Amenity platform. And thank you so much for listening, and thank you, Eidos, for having us today. And you can feel free to reach out to me for any further questions.
Thanks, Lee. I mean, really impressive technology, amazing models, and very easy to use at the end for the end user, because was one of the challenges I mentioned at the beginning of today's webinar, which is we have users working under pressure, so we cannot ask them specific technology, especially in areas as advanced, as complicated as yours. So there's an example of the Amenity quality check functionality fully embedded in the workspace of the analyst. So you can see the report under analysis is open in the window, and similarly, the tagging tool is shown alongside the text, alongside the report. So by navigating through it, you can see all the mentions, all the relevant tags and themes and companies' names, in this case, mentioned across the document. So it's a mix of efficiency. One is coming from us, from the componentization approach and the possibilities that it provides to research. The other is from an intelligent and accessible application of AI and machine learning technology. So these were the key messages for today. I can see that we're almost in time, so we've done a good job in respecting the agenda. To summarize, the joint approaches and these joint technologies and the AI provides a lot of improvements, and highlighted here two which are really key. One is the improvement in quality. The overall quality of research improves because there's less possibility for human errors, more automation, more control, more options for senior analysts to control what's been doing, and so forth. And integration, when finished, both from the automation point of view, of the technology point of view, like with Amenity that has been presented in IDEA, they become seamless. So as Lee said, it's just one click away to have your quality search. And as Francois said, zero human intervention for producing those thousands of reports from our customers in the States. And those are really key. The others are very important points, but these are the two main key points that I want all of you to bring with you at the end of this webinar. We're ready to answer your questions in a second. I just want to remind you, because I see that so many of you stayed until the end, that the follow-up that we promise is a free of charge review of your content workflow, or a workflow audit, as is explaining here. So we made available our experts, our teams, to review how you're managing workflows, to work with you, go through it, find bottlenecks, find areas for improvement. We go through a very quick survey to have a look at your current way of working and so on, and we'll be more than happy to suggest you ways of improving it. It's purely an audit. There's no strings attached. If you want to use that to start a conversation with us as a starting point, more than happy to do so. But in the meantime, if you're interested, of course, this will be limited to just a few attendees. The first one responding in the next few hours, frankly, drop us an email and we'll be happy to follow up on that. So that was it for today's webinar. We still have time for a few questions, and maybe I can start by asking, I would say, either Lee and Francois, because you've been involved with projects, so you know how's life in the customer installations. I could see that some of the panels, they still have the possibility for the user to validate the result of the machine learning tool, of the NLP model, like for validating the tagging, for validating the entity destructions and so forth. Is this still a thing to allow the humans to supervise the work of the machine, or is this something that is going to disappear and the confidence in the work of the engine will make them work, let's say, transparently, invisible in the background?
So it's maybe more a question for Lihi on the panel of Amenity, but yes, we always provide the possibility for a human to overwrite what has been done by a machine. So this is a possibility that we always offer, and obviously the system is intelligent. If you start to remove tags for some of your reports, the system will learn from it to obviously improve the suggestion for the next report that you will be creating.
Yeah, I'm totally agree. Human in the loop is always necessary, and our client can change the tag that were automatically suggested. They can add their own tags, and I think it is very important for the human in the loop to improve the model all the time. So we have an iterative process to improve it, and I think the analyst is very part of improving the models.
Okay, thank you. Anyone from the audience, feel free to ask your questions. You can use the chat or the Q&A. Maybe a question mostly for Lee, which is still in the back of my mind, because ESG for sure in recent years produced a kind of an explosion of content reports and data to be analyzed. Actually, I mean, I could see stories about the ESG bubble close to explode soon, because it's very hard to cope with that. And I do understand why you're giving priority to ESG in building dedicated models and so forth. But do you see anything else coming, like alternative data? Could that be yet another source of info coming in the need of being distilled and processed and made tangible for the end users?
So I think new domains are always coming, and there is every day there is the new next thing. Mm-hmm. So this is why we work closely with our clients to customize these models. And when a new domain or the new ESG will turn, so we will work with our clients to build this taxonomy, to find the appropriate terms and phrases that related to this. And this is something that is changing daily. And
that's your daily job, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Francois, I saw a question before while you were presenting from one of the attendees, which was about, I mean, they mentioned they produce content in both PDF and Excel. And he was asking, the question was if we have capabilities for ingesting content in both PDF or Excel format. We do have an integration with Excel, but that's a specific question. So maybe from your experience, you can provide your point of view.
When we speak about Excel linking, we generally use our, when we speak about Excel, we generally speak about our module Excel linking, where the user can import data from a specific integration, which is the only integration that we have. So you have a human interaction in this specific case, but I don't want to speak too much about the Excel linking, but it's offer way more flexibility than just an import of an Excel chart. Looking at PDF, it's depend of the format of the PDF. So if the PDF is well formatted, it's obviously if it's an image, it's really difficult to identify components. When the PDF is tagged correctly, I'm speaking about I'm trying to find the term for it. The readability of the PDF UI, you are able to import it with the tags of it. So you can find the component. It's a bit more complex, but you can find the component and create an ingestion process.
Yeah, I think PDF formats is the PDF formats is the most complex format that we can work on today. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the webinar was not meant to be against the PDF. PDF is here to stay. We're happy to support it. Actually, we're producing thousands more PDF every week.
We're here to solve complex problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is what we do.
Yeah, correct. That's correct. Well, we're 15 minutes over the hour of the webinar. Happy to see so many stay with us until now. I don't see questions coming, so I would love to thank Lee for joining us. Francois, thanks a lot for sharing your experience. It's been a pleasure, and see you for the next appointment for the Eidos Media Insights webinar. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.